从这个杀手不太冷到超体，吕克·贝松作为电影导演和制片人，在电影之旅上功成名就。过去2年间，吕克·贝松却一部影片产生羁绊。
Valerian is my baby. I work on it for 10 years.
这部名叫《星际特工：千星之城》的影片，源于法国国民级漫画，在吕克·贝松内心萦绕41年。涉资超过14亿元人民币，而在特效上，9亿元人民币的花销创下独立电影以及欧洲电影的投资之最。然而，花费巨资圆梦以及未启动大牌演员等问题，让吕克·贝松陷入争议的漩涡，让这场圆梦之旅充斥着昂贵色彩以及票房市场的不确定性。
I don't care. I want to work with nice people, talented and nice.
从欧洲到好莱坞，再到中国市场，吕克·贝松是如何平衡梦想与市场的天平呢？又是如何说服投资人随他一起追梦呢
？So I just saw the trailer. It's stunning. It's virtually stunning. Is this what you imagined when you were reading the comic books on the countryside of Bahrain?
I think it's better not to imagine too much when you start, because I love to share. There's lots of really creative people who were involved in the process of the film. It's like football or any sports. You know, you don't play by yourself. You play better when you have good players. So I have my idea, my global vision of the thing, but I'm sharing a lot. I love to have. I met a couple of wonderful artists, some Chinese who works on the film, and yeah, it's a teamwork. So if you too much narrow, this is what I want and nothing else, you don't let the other bring you more things, you know, and at the end you're less rich, in fact.
You are a director, a world-renowned director, and you have a lot of masterpieces. But now, when you decide which film to make, do you still consider your career path or something? How do you decide?
No.
Yeah. No.
My career path?
Yeah, no, never.
No, I never thought about it. I'm just like I think it's like falling in love, you know? There's 1 billion, 2 billions of wonderful women, and then you picked up one and you say, oh, that's the one. And the film is the same. If I feel that that I can bring something that maybe another director won't, you know, will bring, then I feel that I should do it. Mm-hmm. I wrote a couple of scripts, like Taken, for example, and I knew I was probably not the best to direct it, and I give it to Olivier Mégaton, and he did an incredible job. Mm-hmm. So, but if it's The Big Blue or Léon or Fifth Element, I feel I can bring something. So that's why I'm focused on one.
True. And in the trailer, I saw Chris Wu. He's a Chinese actor. So what's your comment on him?
He's a great guy. And as you know, his background, he started very young. Yeah. He was in a boys band in Korea. And you can feel that the training of this boy, I mean, he trained. He was like, he did the hard school. You're like, singing, dancing, like 10 hours per day in Korea. And so I like this kind of actor because they grounded, you know, you can say, Chris, okay, now this, and they say, yes, sir. And, you know, he's on chart. And I like, and he's talented. He's very talented. I think he will go much higher.
So what other advice can you give to those Chinese actors who want to work with you or work on the international stage?
Just to give the best they can, that's all.
实际上，《星际特工》这部影片的投资非常大，超过了2亿美元。通常只有好莱坞的6大 studio 敢投入这么大在一部电影上。这又意味着导演从最开始剧本的选择到影片的拍摄、院线的放映、互联网上的版权销售，到最后的衍生品的销售，层层环节都要把关。而且呢，整个环节每一个地方的成本都要层层的把控，非常有压力。
实际上，里克贝松的欧罗巴影业去年一年在欧股的表现并不非常理想，整个一年的股价是下降了17%。所以，所有的业内人士都期待着导演将会有一部非常卖座的商业大片来扭转这样的局势。
Is investment a big problem for you for this movie? I know it's a large investment, it's like $200 million. How do you persuade your investors?
You know, in a way, it's very easy, and I like it. You come with a script, you give the script to a bunch of investors, and if they read it and they say, "Oh my God, that's really good," it could work, then they follow you. And I like this moment of truth, in fact, because you don't have to think more, like put your work on the script and on the drawings, and then when you present your project, you will see the people following you. And it's a good process because if they don't follow you, and maybe you should back to work. You should say, they don't follow me. Let's see in the script why it doesn't appeal to them, and then you have to work more. You have to be good.
And you refuse a lot of Hollywood invitations. And one of the big investors for this film is from China. So what do you say in the Chinese market or the Chinese capital that Hollywood cannot offer you?
What I like in this business, the creative, business, the art, is that no one is asking you for your passport. You can come from China, from Albania, from France.
True.
It doesn't matter as long as you're good, as long as you want to work together. So I met a couple of great, wonderful people, Mark Gao, for example, from China. But it doesn't matter he's from China. The guy is a good guy. So it's more about that. It's about the people you met and willing to do things together rather than Hollywood or China or France or at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And by the way, the film is in the 28th century. In space, so we're all welcome.
Yeah, but specifically what the investors now can offer you that Hollywood, why don't you work with a Hollywood studio? Because usually they have big investment into a film.
No, I want to do my project, and if the people who wants to work on the project, they're welcome. And some were Chinese, and STX is American, and some people invest from Germany also, from everywhere. So it's only, honestly, you have to remember that it always comes from what do you have in your hands at the beginning when you have the script. And that's the key part. Anyone who read the script and love it wants to be in it.
Yeah. And now you have this big investment. So what's your priority? Which part do you want to invest in most? Like technology, post-production, or?
I'm an artist.
Oh. Yeah.
You're talking to me like if I'm a banker. I don't care. Valerian is my baby. I work on it for 10 years. I'm going to finish in a couple of weeks. And I'm just waiting for the moment of the opening because I can just relax. It's like delivering a baby. So I'm waiting for this moment, and no matter what, your baby is always the most beautiful one. So
yeah, I know.
I just wait for my baby.
And a lot of like Chinese capitals, they invest a lot abroad, like Hollywood. But a lot of people say that a large amount of them is going to be a failure. What do you think? The Chinese capital want to invest in the entertainment industry abroad?
I don't know. I'm not concerned about that.
Yeah, and also last year at the Comic-Con, you joke about you don't know how to market this film. It's last year. And you choose STX as your distribution company here in the US. The company is really good, but it's rather young, so why do you make the choice?
What's wrong with being young?
Yeah, but you just say that it's very good.
We should trust much more our youth than we do. When I see sometimes the unemployment around the world, and to see like sometimes it's 30-40% of the young people, they can't find a job, we have to let them work. So I'm all for youth.
Oh, that's great. And the premiere date for this film in North America, it's happened to be the same date as director Nolan's new film. So what do you think Do you think that as a battle or what else?
Yeah, on summer there is a big film every weekend, so you know. But the films are very, very, very different. You know, the other one is a war movie about the Second World War. It looks very, very dark, very adult. So that's nothing to do with us. We are a film for kids and people who wants to laugh. And it's a comedy. It's, you know, it's a space opera. So it's nothing to, you know, I will be much more in trouble if we have like Spider-Man in the front of us or something like this, because that's really the same audience. So, you know.
为了完美再现李克贝松想象中的科幻世界，《星际特工》2/3的预算都花在了特效上面。制作过《指环王》的维他数码，制作过《星球大战》的工业光魔，设计出电视剧《权力的游戏》里那些波澜壮阔场景的 Rodeo 公司，组成了豪华的特效团队。吕克贝松认为，特效行业已经发生巨变，各种神奇的视觉效果都能被制作出来，唯一的限制在于人们的想象力。
And you work with 3 post-production companies from 3 different countries on the special effects. Why choose so many of them? Why not just stick one?
Oh, because no one on Earth can do the entire film. Because there is 2,700 shots with special effect, and none of the company can handle the entire film. So we divide in big scenes, you know, like very heavy scenes. And we give the scenes to the one who seems the most appropriate for the scene. So ILM did a big scene called Big Market. It's almost like 700 shots. And Weta get another big part. It's almost 1,000 or more than 1,000. But there's also Rodeo, your company is in Canada, and they specialist on spaceships, you know, like everything mechanical. So they have also lots of shots. But also 2 companies in France, you know, who works on the film. So we work with lots of people, and China, who did the 3D version, and they did an amazing job. So because they're specialists on that too. So everybody has you know, we take the people for what they have to offer the best, in fact.
It is said that you talked to James Cameron when you're doing the film. What did you discuss? What kind of thing?
I have to go to see God.
You are the God in many people's eyes.
Jim. No, he was actually so nice with me. Before I started, I came with a lot of humility to see him and say, you know, can you give me some advice to? And he was very, very generous. Explain, give me a couple of names, and he was very cool, and he's a great guy.
The technology we now use to make the films, how is it different from the time when James made Avatar?
Oh, the big change was with Avatar. Before Avatar, it was another world. And when I did The Fifth Element, it was dinosaur time. It was like, you have to lock the camera for 6 hours and put dots on the walls, and it was a nightmare. And then a year later, you can have your camera on shoulder and do whatever you want. You know, it was totally open after that. When the digital arrived, it changed everything. So this one in Valerian, I really have the feeling that I have all the capacity to do whatever I want. The limit is the imagination now, and it's wonderful.
You said that.
So we're probably going to go back to the artist, to the people, the real creator, because now the technique is there, but we need imagination. So we need to knock on the door of the artist and say, do you have some ideas?
And you say digital change everything. You still use it as a pen and typewriter. You don't use a laptop or computer.
No, I don't have one. I don't have a computer.
Why is that? What's the joy of writing with your typewriter?
I like the contact with my hand, and I can write anywhere, in the plane, on a boat, or anywhere, just a piece of paper and a pen. And there's also a humility about it, because everybody can have a piece of paper and a pen. So I love to start like this, to say, okay, I'm like everyone, and it's just a matter of how much I'm going to work and if I'm going to be good enough. But I like that. And I have so many friends who are writers, and they're on their laptop and they're very proud. And then one day the thing fall on the water or crash somewhere, and then they're in a big trouble because they lose everything. So I don't lose everything with my paper, and I go way faster. And I love to do arrows, like take one piece and put an arrow to the other one.
Yeah, like this one.
Yeah. And you can't do that with with a laptop.
Yeah.
And I love to put the piece of paper in front of me, especially for a film, because where is the half of the movie, and you can see the caliber of the scenes much better than on the computer. So
我想也许外界对于这部影片商业方面是否成功的质疑，都不是导演最先考虑的。他只是在意的，在那个镜头看出去的样子，是不是他当年在10岁的时候，在巴黎乡下读这部漫画原著时，头脑中想象的样子。
It is that you applied for the French film school back when you were 18, and you listed a lot of Hollywood film directors as your favorite. Now, who inspired you most?
But I never said that this director inspired me. I think the inspiration has to come from life, not from a director.
What about those days when you were a kid, you live in the countryside of Paris?
No, the inspiration comes from everywhere. A director has to go in the world without skin and feel everything. So sometimes if sometimes I'm waiting for someone who is late, 20 minutes, and you're on the bench and you're working for 20 minutes. You're watching everything. The other day I was watching this tree. He was like probably 300 years old, and I feel so small. I say, my God, he have seen everything. I've seen nothing. So I start to talk to him. Hey, hi, how are you? What's up? And he was so strong. You learn from everything.
Have you ever thought of make a prequel of The Professional or a sequel of Lucy?
I'm thinking always, all the time. So I have an idea every 35 seconds. So yeah, of course I think about it, but the plan is not that for now.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is our action figure from Tencent.
Thank
it's
you.
a gift for you.
Thank you so much.